Welcome to Sex and Happiness with Laurie Handlers. Amazing sex and intimacy are just around the corner.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Sex and Happiness Show. I'm Laurie Handlers, and you've probably seen this person with me before, Briana.
I'm so happy to be back.
Yeah, she's at my house right now, so we thought, let's do a podcast. Why not?
Why not?
And
the reason, too.
That's right. And we just came back from New Mexico, where Michael and I delivered Extraordinary Lovers, and Briana participated and assisted it. She was like a chameleon. She did a little of both.
Although, truly, I felt like I had such an opportunity to be the student this weekend.
Yeah.
Which is not normal for me for a while. I mean, we're always a student, in lots of ways, whether we're assisting or co-facilitating something together. But there was something really unique just in being able to be so a part of the process. This is what I love the most about the Extraordinary Lovers work.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. It was very deep. Couples came who were brand new, and couples came who had been together for, I don't know, over 20 years, maybe 30 years, a few of them. And transformation happened,
Yeah. Mind-blowing transformation happened. Really, it was, I guess that was my thought, is that this work every 3 weeks, some of the concepts and the questions, there's like deep integration in what's occurring because we're humans.
Yeah.
So we're kind of messy. We're unpacking decades of things over and over and over with every trigger and conversation that we have with our partners.
Well, that's the thing. Nobody teaches us how to be partners. Nobody teaches us how to be in a relationship with someone else. And so lots of times when we're in a relationship with someone else, we act like we're teenagers. We act like, we regress, like normal adults regress back to like being, rebelling against their mother and father, and they do all these things to their partner, and they don't know any better.
Most people don't even stop to ask themselves why. Why would I have talked to someone who I actually deeply love in such a presumptuous, assuming, not curious, judgmental way?
Yeah. So what it's about is really combating, but I don't like the word combat. It's like grasping at the ways people are usually when they relate to someone they love, and shifting that into I guess we could call it a higher conversation, a more conscious conversation, and giving people tools and practices that they can actually use so they can troubleshoot ever fighting again over anything, or disagreeing and being scared that they won't return to love, like giving them the tools to return to love every single time.
What I find really amazing is that like anyone can attend this, not just couples.
Right.
And so I've unpacked. So I've done both an online version of this as a participant.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
The difference.
Yeah. So I'll speak to that in a moment, but I've done both an online version and the in-person in New Mexico. And what feels so potent to me is that I've healed things from past relationships now from being in, of course.
Really?
Yeah. Like just having the conversations and having some time for reflection of really looking at myself, like being able to really notice some shadows, and not because you're saying we're going to deal with shadows and now look at this thing, right? But I love to create value for every single little piece.
Well, we ask you to look at your values.
Absolutely.
And when you look at your values, what I found is like I was in relationship for years with different people who I didn't share values with at all. And so that's kind of where we begin. Like self-love. So
self-love.
What do you value?
Yeah.
About yourself in your life, whatever. And then would you pick somebody who has the same values as you, or would you not vet your partners well enough? And so that's a big growing process.
For sure. And so for people that are there that are not in relationships but are looking to create healthy relationships moving forward, or in transition in relationship and thinking about, am I just going to swear off of dating for the rest of my life, or am I going to open myself to something new? And just so much clarity, so much crystalline affirmations around what it can look like what it does look like to move forward in relating in a way that is rooted in health
and adultness. Actually, we put the responsibility on each person to find out who they really are at the core, and then to communicate that with their significant other. And a lot of times people haven't had this conversation, or they had it in the very beginning and then they got into their routine, and then the routine took over, and then they like lost their spark. They lost their feelings for their body. They weren't embodied. I mean, we had a couple there this past weekend who every day she looked different.
Whew.
You know who I'm talking about.
I absolutely know who you're talking about. Yeah, it's
incredible.
They
said she can't connect to her body anymore. He loves her, but he doesn't know what to do. Da, da, da. And so that was Friday night. Saturday, she looked already different. And Sunday, she looked stunning. Like her goddess was present, and she looked stunning. And she said, and when they walked out the door, she said to me, this was life-changing. And then when he walked out the door, like at the end, he said, thank you. We're new people.
Mm-hmm. And these are people who came in happy, actually.
Yeah, they were happy with each other.
They weren't a couple, nobody, their friends weren't telling them to break up. Their families were, they get along. They're fun to be around. They hang out together. They do activities. There's things.
But their spark was gone.
Yes. And that is the thing that I think that you're speaking to. And this is a couple, not that age or longevity or period of time necessarily matters, but sometimes I think that when couples, so, if you're listening to this and you're thinking like, oh, the spark in my relationship is gone, but we're in our early 30s and we just had 3 kids over the last 4 years, or, whatever. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. But this is a couple that, their kids are grown up and adults, and
they're in their 70s.
They're in their 70s. I'm not certain how long they've been.
It's a second marriage. It's a second marriage. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. But, not a super long time, but in a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
And everyone loses their spark at some point. Everyone. Even if it's just for a moment. Even in new relationships, so like observing where that new relationship energy starts to move through phases. Sometimes I hear people, even if they're like, I don't know, for an hour, I just was really unsure. And I'm like, yeah, your oxytocin dropped. It's fine. It's totally fine.
So we should say that what Michael and I feel is that extraordinary lovers, the definition of that is wanting to produce oxytocin in your partner on a regular basis, like not wanting your partner to be depleted of oxytocin, to drop in oxytocin. So that means when you're mad or when you're arguing or when you feel resentment and you didn't speak your truth, you've got to do something about it. Consciously, you have to return to love, meaning you have to produce oxytocin. That's really all. It's simple. That's all that it takes. It's not rocket science, but it seems like it's rocket science.
It does. It feels like it in the moment.
Well, most people find relationships to be the most challenging thing in their lives. Like either they break up over and over and over again, with multiple people, or they have multiple people that they're processing with all the time, or they have somebody wonderful, but they're like best friends now, but they're not. There's no chemistry anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, you're my best friend. I'd love to do everything with you, but I'm not attracted to you anymore. And I don't feel attractive myself. I mean, that's what we hear all the time, especially after couples have kids, what you said, and then as they age. So it was quite the experience. We loved it. I was happy that you were there. In case you don't know who Briana is, like maybe this is the first time you've ever seen her, so you should know who she is. We co-facilitate together Sex and Happiness Journey, Sex and Happiness Express, and we also co-facilitate an apprentice program, like where you learn facilitation and apprentice skills. And Briana is soon to become her own full-blown ISTA facilitator. So then we'll be facilitating together on another level and in other places.
Yeah. It's been such a fun journey over the past 4 years together.
Yeah. It's been amazing. We met at an ISTA training in Portland, and who knew we'd be sitting here like this?
We knew. I think we've both discussed a couple of times. We're like, there was something happening here.
Yeah.
We didn't know where it was going yet. Not until about a year after that, not even a year, 8 months, maybe 7 months after that,
Yeah.
that I joined your then apprenticeship
My
program.
then apprenticeship program. Yeah.
And that's when we started to dive deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, once we started to get on the phone one-on-one and connect and
Yeah.
really drop into values. That's really what we were doing, was building that connection.
So you should know her. In case you don't know her, this is Briana Cribeyer. And she's changed my life. She makes my life easier and actually more exciting. So, yeah.
And fun is one of your core values.
Fun is definitely a core value of mine. So if you're in a couple and you would like to groove, feel your heat, feel your passion, feel like you there's an end to arguing and fighting, and where you might need to check in with your values and then reignite things. I'd like to tell you about the Extraordinary Lovers Luxury Retreat coming up December 5th to the 11th in Tulum, Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Brianna's going to be there too, so you'll get a chance to meet her.
Yeah.
We have some really exciting things. We have our regular course, which is all the components and modules of the course in a week-long experience instead of a weekend. So we have a little time off in the afternoons to swim and siesta in Mexico. But also Brianna will be facilitating some new modules in that course. And also we have our favorite tango teacher, Daniela Borgelli, will be coming, and she will be doing some physical exercises of how a man needs to feel into the woman that he's with, if he is with a woman, or his partner in the masculine. So there will be some very amazing nonverbal new additions to Extraordinary Lovers, where it's kind of like holding someone in an embrace with dancing, but building the trust through nonverbal communication. So we'll be having that too. And then Liz and Erminio will be with us. Liz Alamila and Erminio. I can't think of what Erminio's last name is. They're an Extraordinary Lovers couple. And so if you want more information about it, you should go to Facebook events, and the event page is Extraordinary Lovers Luxury Retreat. And you can just type that in and it'll come right up. We would love to have you there. We have room for you right now, but I don't know how long.
Oh, yeah, that's going to sell out fast.
Yeah, I don't know how long. And let me just say, we'll also go on an excursion or two to the Mayan ruins in Tulum. This is why we picked Tulum. It's an amazing vortex.
Beautiful.
And we'll be doing a boat trip. We'll be going to some cenotes. And we will also, I've planned a little shopping spree in there.
And these are amazing places that we're talking about.
Oh,
so
yeah.
These are really, I went on the same, kind of the same tour circuit 2 years ago when we were in Mexico together.
Mm-hmm.
And it was phenomenal. It was so much fun to be there with a group of people that I had really just opened up to and expressed to. Can I say something about Extraordinary Lovers?
Sure.
One of the, again, I mentioned if no matter where you are in relating or in relationship, just the incredible value about it in.
Oh yeah, I was going to say something about singles. Yeah, go ahead.
And then the other piece is that my coaching has just been leveled up.
Really?
Yeah, the way that I've been coaching over this past week, and during the weekend when I was, and even just the clients that I thought about all weekend. So yes, of course I was there doing my own work. I was there supporting the container, and now everyone benefits from it.
That's great.
So for those of you that are listening, I know a number of people that listen in are coaches and therapists and people who are well connected that are actually always looking to level up their skills to be able to bring more to our clients. It's incredible. Like things just got really clear with some of the couples that I'm working with.
Wow.
Yeah. Some that have been through.
Beautiful.
Also.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And I'm just delighted to be on this ride in Mexico.
Thank you. Yeah. So I wanted to say, I didn't say this, but couples are welcome and singles are welcome. So if if you don't want to make the same mistakes you made before in relating, then join us as well.
Right. That was the other part I wanted to say is that all